You ever step off a cruise feeling exhausted instead of relaxed? You book what looks like a dream vacation. 7 days in the Caribbean. Beaches, sun, unlimited food. Should be perfect, right? But you step off that gangway on the last day feeling more stressed than when you boarded. Crowds everywhere. Nickel and dimed for everything. Service that ranged from indifferent to openly rude. So, next cruise, you switch lines, different ships, different itinerary, and somehow it's the exact same circus all over again. Here's the thing. It's not bad luck, it's bad cruise lines. Welcome to Cruise Compendium, where we help you cruise smarter, not harder. And today, I'm separating the cruise lines that are genuinely worth your money from the ones that are just floating disappointments waiting to happen. I pulled real on-time departure stats, passenger complaint rates from 2025, hidden fee breakdowns that'll make your jaw drop, and those shocking stories about fake balconies and cabins next to the anchor chain. Don't be surprised if your personal favorite cruise line doesn't land where you expect on this list. We're counting down the cruise lines to avoid at all costs, and finishing with 4 that are actually worth every penny, starting with a luxury line many seasoned cruisers swear is untouchable. But before we get into it, hit that subscribe button for Cruise Compendium right now. We're exposing cruise industry secrets and ranking cruise lines based on real data, not marketing fluff. Ring that notification bell. Let's start at the bottom. All right, number 1 on the avoid list, Carnival Cruise Line. And look, I know Carnival has loyal fans. I get it. But hear me out. Carnival is that cruise line where the advertised price and the actual price are two completely different numbers. The base fare looks amazing. You're thinking, wow, 7 days for $900? Sign me up. Then reality hits. Want to pick your dining time? That's extra. Want faster Wi-Fi? Upgrade fee. Want a shore excursion that isn't sold out? Should have booked 6 months ago and paid a premium. At embarkation, you get murky announcements about dress codes that nobody actually follows. You see arguments at guest services about drink packages that aren't activating, and once you're on board, the ship can flip from family fun to spring break chaos in about 30 seconds. One viewer told me this story. He prepaid for the Cheers drink package online. $200. Got it confirmed. Boarded the ship. Went to the bar on day 1. Bartender says, your package isn't showing in the system. He spent the next 2 hours of his vacation, day 1, running between guest services and the bar trying to get it fixed. Finally activated it. But his first afternoon was completely wasted. Have you ever had a drink package disaster like that? Drop it in the comments, and that's before we even talk about the reputation. The poop cruise jokes, the viral fight videos, the lines about Carnival being Vegas on water except you can't leave. So when does Carnival make sense? Only if you're traveling with kids who need water slides and you're on a rock-bottom budget. And you're okay trading any sense of peace for loud pool deck parties at 2 a.m. Otherwise, skip it if you have any other option. Number 2, MSC Cruises. MSC is the other half of the budget cruise duo. If Carnival attacks your wallet, MSC attacks your expectations with European-style service that doesn't translate well to American passengers. The fare looks incredible. You're thinking, Mediterranean cruise for $1,200? Amazing. Then you board. Dining times are assigned and rigid. No flexibility. You eat at 6:30 or 8:30. That's it. The free kids program has age gaps that leave some kids completely excluded. And the crew speaks very limited English, which makes everything harder. The nickel and diming is brutal too. Want a cappuccino after dinner? €4. Want to sit in the quiet sun area? That's a reserved seating fee. Even ice cream that looks complimentary has a charge. One cruiser said, I spent more on random fees and upcharges than I saved on the base fare. Should have just booked Royal Caribbean. So with MSC, you're getting a European cruise experience at a discount price. But discount means you'll pay extra for nearly everything beyond the bed and the buffet, and if you don't speak Italian or deal well with rigid schedules, you're setting yourself up for frustration. Number 3, Costa Cruises. Costa used to feel exotic. European elegance meeting Italian flair, beautiful ships, Mediterranean itineraries, interesting ports. But now, people compare it to a floating shopping mall with questionable English announcements. Too many cruises feel like cold transactions, tighter cabins, beverage packages that don't include the drinks you actually want, and service that swings wildly between genuinely warm Italian hospitality and completely checked out. According to cruise review sites, Costa consistently ranks in the bottom tier for English-speaking passengers. Major complaints about communication barriers, confusing announcements, crew trained for Italian passengers first, everyone else second. My friend sailed Costa last year, assigned Italian dining times with zero flexibility. His cabin steward barely spoke English. Entertainment was primarily in Italian with no translation. He said, "I felt like a stranger on my own vacation." Have you ever felt lost on your own cruise? Tell me about it. Those are the three cruise lines I'd avoid whenever I possibly can. But now we're moving into the messy middle. Flawed cruise lines that are still worth sailing if you know how to play them. Norwegian Cruise Line sits in this weird spot. They invented freestyle cruising. No assigned dining, no dress codes. Cruise your way. Sounds perfect, right? And when it works, it is great. You eat when you want. You wear jeans to dinner. You skip formal nights entirely. But here's the problem. Freestyle dining means packed restaurants with 2-hour waits if you don't book ahead. The ships look worn out on older classes, and the nickel and diming rivals the budget lines. Drink packages, specialty dining, even gratuities are added as a mandatory daily fee now. So how do you make Norwegian work? Book specialty dining reservations the second they open, choose newer ships like Prima or Viva, and set realistic expectations about crowds and upcharges. If you do that, Norwegian can be solid. Just know what you're getting into. Royal Caribbean International is next, and this one's controversial because Royal has a lot of fans. Royal won customers with genuine innovation. Rock climbing walls, surf simulators, ice skating rinks, the private island Coco Cay that actually delivers on the hype. But the cracks are showing: long lines for popular venues, pool decks that feel like public beaches, and the realization that free activities have 2-hour waits while paid ones are immediately available. Dining is a whole game. Main dining room is included but mediocre. Specialty restaurants are genuinely good but cost $40 to $60 per person, and the buffet is a zoo during peak times. Then there's the size problem. Ships like Wonder of the Seas carry over 6,000 passengers. That's more than many small towns. Even with all those venues, you're constantly aware you're sharing space with thousands of people. Royal Caribbean can still shine on newer ships if you care about activities. Just be prepared for crowds and upcharges. Quick pause. If you're learning things about these cruise lines you didn't know, I need you to do something. Hit that like button right now. Share this video with anyone planning a cruise, and drop a comment telling me which cruise line you'll never sail again. I read every comment, because these rankings come from real cruiser experiences, not marketing brochures. All right, let's keep going. Princess Cruises is the former love boat that's deep in an identity crisis. There was a time Princess felt elegant, refined passengers, enriching experiences, the kind of cruise where you dress for dinner and feel good about it. These days, ships that feel dated compared to newer competition, entertainment that skews heavily toward an older demographic, and a loyalty program that keeps devaluing benefits. But here's the thing. Princess still shines on Alaska and Japan itineraries where the destination matters more than onboard glitz. And if you're over 60 and want a quieter cruise without kids running everywhere, Princess might be exactly your speed. How do you play it? Choose Alaska, Japan, or European itineraries. Pick smaller ships when possible, and set expectations for an older, calmer crowd. Holland America Line has the reputation of being cruises for your grandparents. And yeah, the average passenger age is definitely up there. But fans of Holland America see it differently. This is what happens when you want a cruise that treats you like an adult. No kids screaming at the pool, no midnight deck parties, just quiet elegance, genuinely excellent food, and enrichment programs like culinary demonstrations and classical music performances. The ships are smaller, so you're not fighting 6,000 people for a deck chair. The Pinnacle Grill is one of the best specialty restaurants at sea, and their Alaska and Antarctica programs are world-class. So Holland America isn't for families or people chasing water slides. It's for people who want a floating hotel that happens to visit interesting ports. If you're over 50 and want peace, Holland America absolutely belongs on your list. Celebrity Cruises sits between mass market and luxury. Modern ships, the retreat for sweet guests, premium dining. But it depends on which ship you get. Older Millennium-class ships feel every one of their years. Dated bathrooms, small TVs, worn carpets. The saving grace? The dining. Celebrity's main dining room genuinely outclasses most competitors. And Le Petit Chef is one of the most unique dining experiences at sea. Jump up to a suite in the retreat and everything changes. Private sun deck. Exclusive restaurant. Butler service. It isn't cheap, but travelers walk away feeling the upgrade was worth it. The surprisingly good Worth considering, Oceania Cruises is the line people book when they're over the drama and just want grown-up, destination-focused cruising. Ships max out around 1,200 passengers. That means you're not fighting crowds. Dining feels civilized. And crew actually know your name by day 3. But the real sell is the food. Oceania was founded by former Renaissance executives who made cuisine the centerpiece. Main dining rooms serve food that would cost serious money on land, no upcharge, and specialty restaurants designed by Jacques Pepin are legitimately world-class. Itineraries lean heavily into overnight stays and longer port visits. Where megaships give you 6 hours in Rome, Oceania gives you 2 days. It's not cheap. But if you care more about ports and food than water slides, Oceania is worth every penny. Cunard Line is British elegance at sea. When everything clicks, it's magical. Dress codes are enforced, afternoon tea feels ceremonial, and crossing the Atlantic on Queen Mary 2 is genuinely special. Queen Mary 2 is purpose-built for transatlantic crossings, the only ship still doing them regularly. If you've ever wanted to cross the ocean the classic way, this is literally your only option. On board, you get planetarium shows, a massive library, white glove service in Queen's Grill, and that British formality that's either charming or stuffy depending on your taste. But standard Britannia-class cabins feel small and dark. The 2-class dining system where grill passengers get better food feels uncomfortably outdated. Here's how to do Cunard, right? Book grill class. Sail transatlantic or around Britain itineraries. That's where Cunard absolutely delivers. Just avoid Britannia class on warm weather cruises. Viking Ocean Cruises is what happens when the river cruise company that perfected destination immersion goes to sea. No casinos, no kids, no nickel and diming, just enriching experiences with in-depth shore excursions, lectures by actual experts, and dining that feels like fine restaurants on land. Everything's included: shore excursions, specialty dining, Wi-Fi, drinks. The sticker price looks high until you realize nothing costs extra. You're not being nickel and dimed at every turn. For travelers who care less about shows and more about actually learning something, Viking Ocean deserves serious consideration. Seabourn is ultra-luxury for people who want yacht-style intimacy without chartering an actual yacht. All-suite accommodations, complimentary caviar, beach parties, and the crew-to-guest ratio is nearly 1-to-1. Dining rivals Michelin-starred restaurants, open bars everywhere with top-shelf liquor, and itineraries hit smaller ports megaships can't reach. The trade? You're paying $5,000 plus per person for a week. Ships are tiny, 450 to 600 guests, so onboard activities are limited, and if you want casinos and Broadway shows, wrong line. Best play? Book Antarctica, Northern Europe, or small Mediterranean ports where seabourn size is an advantage. The top 4 world-class cruising. All right, here we go. The top 4 cruise lines that genuinely deliver world-class experiences. Number 4, Regent 7 Seas Cruises. The pitch is simple. Truly all-inclusive luxury with no surprises. And they actually deliver. Every shore excursion included, every specialty restaurant, every drink, including premium wine and spirits, pre-cruise hotel stays, round-trip business class air on intercontinental cruises, even gratuities. You pay one price, nothing else comes out of your wallet for the entire cruise. That's unheard of in this industry. Cabins are spacious with real balconies, service is attentive without being intrusive, and ships feel genuinely elegant, not flashy. The catch? Fares start at $7,000 to $10,000 per person for a week, but compared with other luxury lines where you're still paying for items, Regent's true all-inclusive can actually be better value. Number 3. Crystal Cruises. Crystal pioneered destination-focused luxury for decades. What makes them special is how joined up everything feels. Embarkation is calm, boarding is organized, meals strike a perfect balance between approachable and refined. In penthouse suites, you get butler service, priority everything, and enough space to make a 3-week cruise feel like a floating apartment. After bankruptcy and relaunch in 2022 through 2023, service has been rebuilding. So check fresh reviews before you book. But when Crystal is on, it's genuinely special. Number 2. Silver Sea. Think about a cruise where even the smallest details are perfected. That's Silver Sea. Every accommodation is a suite, real space, separate sitting area, walk-in closet, marble bathroom, butler service in every category. But what people remember most is how seamlessly everything flows. You think about booking a shore excursion and your butler has already reserved it. You mention wanting champagne and it appears. The ship feels like it's reading your mind. Whether it's Antarctica or the Mediterranean, Silver Sea's all-suite experience is built for people who genuinely appreciate when someone gets all the details exactly right. And number 1. The best cruise line in the world according to seasoned cruisers, Explora Journeys. Explora has never dropped that ocean luxury redefined feeling. Ask around and you'll hear the same thing. People fall for Explora on the very first voyage. What makes it different is how predictable the perfection feels. Every stateroom is a suite. Service runs on a rhythm you can rely on. Meals come out calm and organized. Crew anticipate needs before you ask. The residential design means your suite feels like a luxury apartment, not a hotel room. Floor-to-ceiling windows, separate living areas, ocean terraces that make you forget you're on a ship. In penthouses, it's a private residence at sea. Full kitchens, private hot tubs, butler service that makes Ritz-Carlton look understaffed. And then there's the destinations. Longer port stays, overnight stops, itineraries designed for exploration, not checkboxes. You pay more to cruise Explora Journeys, but what you're buying is the future of luxury cruising and a level of perfection most cruise lines only talk about. Look, it's always a trade-off. Price versus stress, budget versus peace. How much chaos you're willing to tolerate on what's supposed to be a relaxing vacation? This video isn't here to scare you off cruising. It's so, when you see a cruise line logo on the booking screen, you know what you're really buying. A budget party ship, or a pricier, calmer voyage where everything actually works. Cruise lines spend millions on marketing to make every ship look perfect. But the reality? Some deliver, some don't. And knowing the difference can save you thousands of dollars and weeks of regret. Now it's your turn. Which cruise line is on your personal never again list? And which one would you actually go out of your way to sail? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one, and your experiences shape these rankings. Because Cruise Compendium isn't built on marketing brochures, it's built on real cruiser feedback. If this ranking helped you, hit that subscribe button for Cruise Compendium right now. We're exposing cruise industry secrets and ranking cruise lines based on real data every single week. Smash that like button. It helps this video reach more people who need to see it before they book the wrong cruise line. And share this with everyone you know who cruises, your parents, your friends, your cruise Facebook groups. Because the more people who know which cruise lines actually deliver, the fewer people waste money on floating disappointments. Check out our other videos on cruise pricing secrets, cabin locations to avoid, and the mistakes costing cruisers thousands. Links are right up there in the corner. Until next time, this is Cruise Compendium, reminding you to cruise smarter, not harder. Do your research, know what you're actually buying, and never settle for a cruise line that treats you like a walking wallet. I'll see you on the next one. Happy sailing, and may you always choose cruise lines that actually deliver on their promises, my friends.